Gonna need to reveal anything? Oh wow. Okay. Well, that's lucky. We've got a good server. In fact, it's just like it was 100 ping across the board, so that's perfect for the best of 5. Middle East versus NA. Daniel back again. Let me know if this is okay for game sound. On my new PC, for some reason, Rocket League is much louder than it was on my old one, so I think this should be fine. This is game 1 of a potential 5. Rw9, also known as Rw9, is going to be going up against Daniel today. That's a great 50-50 to kick things off. And he's up by 1 already. It's a bit loud, you say? Okay, try this in that case. How is... Right, type 1 in chat if this is a good volume. I've reduced it. Some people are saying game sound up a little, but I've turned it here. Yeah, this should be open. This should be okay. Sounds pretty good to me. But okay, Rw9, very high rated player from Middle East. He's a wonder kid from Middle East as well. I think he's, is he 13 or is he turned 14? Not actually sure. But yeah, we're, I'm older than both these two combined, which is a little bit embarrassing looking at my Rocket League skill. Turns out age does not actually translate into good skill when the age increases. Daniel playing a slow near post shot. That's a really good selection there. When you see your opponent committing to the near post wall, slowing down the shot makes it very awkward for them to generate momentum, because stopping on that wall makes it very difficult to both flip into the ball and also avoid getting mind gamed. You know, just one more time I will say no more updates on the draft matchups. Waiting on the other GMs to do their thing there. Oh wow, really surprised that Daniel committed for that one, because Rw9 was in a perfect position to intercept him, beat him to the ball, pass it off the sidewall to himself. So surely this was just, you know, kind of a mind game by Daniel. It looks a bit weird that he's thrown himself at that, but Daniel's a smart enough player that is, you know, he's made a conscious decision there to go for a ball that he knows he really shouldn't be going for, but he's also thinking, well, Rw9 will know that I'm not supposed to go for this, so maybe he will try and be cheeky, catch the ball, and dribble it down the center of the field. It turns out it didn't work out this time, so I think Daniel's going to be a lot more careful playing those all-in moves, and I think he should be careful. I'm not sure how much he knows about Rw9's gameplay, but Rw9 is, like Daniel, quite a defensive player, and he's unlikely to be caught out by tricks like that. Very mechanical as well. They should be good mirror in styles, I think. Whereas last time we saw Daniel against a Middle East player on EU server, it was AMS, and I think Daniel had a bit of a mechanical advantage. I don't think Daniel's going to have a mechanical advantage here. I think that both players should be extremely close in terms of speed. This really will be won based on decision making and also that clutch factor, who can just hit their shots under pressure. And oof, that's a great finish. Look at the power by Rw9. Daniel did not expect that one. He thought, okay, I've got time to grab that boost in the corner, and then of course if he just holds the boost all the way back, he's thinking he should be able to catch up to that shot. Not the case. Rw9 has the power, and he's got experience in 1v1 tournaments as well. You know, Daniel's got the Showmatch experience, but Rw9 has played lots of tournaments, and Daniel walks it around him here. Actually surprised that Rw9 didn't get a piece of this ball. Need to take a look at that one from his perspective. Did he just jump too high? Oh wow, he just flipped the wrong way. So, bit of a mistake there by Rw9. If he just dodged into the ball, he had the shot and the fake covered with the same approach. But he didn't, and that's given Daniel one more chance. Good boost grab by Daniel. He waited for Rw9 to dodge there, because he knew, well, as soon as Rw9 dodges, I can beat into this. And now Rw9 dives in with a challenge. That is a weird play. Both players are making some very strange plays here that I'm not used to seeing from them. I mean, it's very unconventional for Rw9 to be lunging in like this. He usually will shadow in that kind of position. Hey Jesper, thanks to the 4-month tier 1, and a buff bot, thanks to the 51-month tier 1. And Soul, thanks to the 2-month prime. That was a difficult one to get right, but I think I got there. Rw9 kickoff goal puts him 1 goal in front again. Rw9 throwing, well, you know, much like Daniel's rush challenge, it wasn't really a rush challenge that Daniel made. He just made a risky shot at the near post. I'd say Rw9 was kind of in the same category with his last rush challenge. It's a play that you're really not supposed to be making, because you are getting beaten to the ball if the opponent just goes for it, but that's the whole point. You're doing something unexpected. So both players have mixed in a very aggressive play to their, you know, standard back off defensive structure, just to make them a bit less predictable. That's a really good power shot by Daniel. Look at the air roll. Just making sure to get there as quickly as possible. NA ball chasers in ones. I don't really think so. I don't really think so. I think these days NA, EU... Oh, Roas is on goal. Pre-flip own goal. He is trying to pitch that off the post and out, but got it the wrong way. I'll save him the embarrassment and not watch it again on the replay. That's a tough one. We already saw what happened, so I feel pretty bad watching it again. And now the bump is only going to send the ball into the post. Daniel was not getting there. He should be able to put a really tough shot on target here. I think the air dribble might be one of the lesser options there. Roas break checks Daniel just in case he was coming in for the demo, and now he's going to threaten an air dribble. Daniel fakes the challenge, back down to the ground, and makes contact. Great defense by Daniel, but Roas has saved up a lot of boost here. Could have actually turned before the 100 at mid, decided against it, and now we are seeing him back off. Daniel with a mind game, and he's actually forced, somewhat of another own goal here, but this one was just going in anyway, so not as much of an own goal as last time. Brilliant mind game by Daniel there. Hiding behind the ball on the air dribble makes it very difficult for Roas to see. Is it going to be a flip reset? Is it going to be a dunk? Is it just going to be a complete mind game like the one we saw there? Roas making a lunge into the back corner for the boost. Daniel trying to catch him in the demo. Doesn't actually get it. And Roas shrugs him off the ball. And he has got his own back here for Daniel's trickery earlier on. Oh, that little nudge just sent Daniel flying past it. But yeah, Daniel committed pretty hard for that back wall demo. And you got to be careful going for those because Roas is so aware all the time of his opponent's position. I don't think you're going to catch him out with demos all that often. Obviously, you can sometimes just force it if you see exactly where the opponent's going to land and there's nothing they can do about it. But whenever Roas has got the ability to steer or jump, he will. Very, very smart player. So this time Daniel does get the reset at the start of his air dribble, making it a lot harder to read. And that is going to be goal of the game with just about a minute to go. So I really like that a lot more than his last air dribble that he went for because he didn't have a reset to work with in the previous one. He was committed, he was stuck with a vanilla air dribble, and that really limited his options. It made it very easy for Roas to identify what was coming towards him. Now Daniel looking for a fast dribble. Roas was in a good position for it. Daniel trying to sneak a wall shot in. Actually, gets on the wrong side of the ball. Oh, that's brilliant. Well played by Roas. Daniel has got to stop going for the demo plays here. He's threatening a demo here, but Roas is just too clean with the movement. Stayed completely away from danger there, and it might not look like much. You might just think, well, that's just a one touch into a shot. But the fact that he wasn't vulnerable, he wasn't in danger of being demoed that entire time just shows a real mastery of positioning there by Roas. Daniel focusing on the air dribbles once again. Gets the bump, and it's hit the bar. Is Roas got this? Oh my goodness, what a save! I think that was still going in, but he's landed on the post and then knocked it to safety. That is an unbelievable save. Wow. I mean, even if that wasn't going in, brilliant recovery nonetheless. 9-7. I think the defense has been, for the most part, quite impressive by these players, but they have been dismantling one another anyway. Daniel keeps the comeback alive with a possession play in his own back corner. It's got to be another all-in move. It is another all-in move, and Roas saves it. Wow. Daniel might be a bit confused about what to do here, because one air dribble bump has gone into the crossbar and been saved on the goal line. Now another one has been just completely flat out stopped before the goal, and yeah, it might be time for Daniel to just put that one in the back burner for the time being. I like Daniel's flip reset, early flip reset on the ball. I think he should probably go for that one again if he's playing for any kind of aerial attack. Early flip reset, get nice and close with the air dribble, threaten the dodge into the ball. Maybe even go for it if there is a corner of the net undefended like we had in game number 1. But as for Roas, the counter-attacking play is working brilliantly. I think he has surprised Daniel in this one with just how difficult it is to connect with him with those demo plays. I don't expect to see many demo plays. I don't expect to see many air dribble bumps from Daniel in game 2. I think he's going to focus on much more of a consistent offensive kind of style, which can work against Rw9. Rw9, he does like to defend. And I think sometimes too much. He'll sit back and not really pressure the ball. Daniel's committing to the air dribbles. It's not worked again. Rw9 is unreal with these saves. He didn't even have a lot of boost for that one, and he still kept it out. And manages to make a little circle around the box. Look at the composure. He finally does get caught by the demo, though, and that's pretty much the only times I think Daniel should be going for demos. When he sees Rw9 dodging right there. He knows exactly where he's going to be. There's no way that Rw9 can avoid him. So I like that one. But, you know, trying to connect demos on Rw9 in the middle of the pitch, you know, when he's just driving, probably not a good idea. Air dribble bumps as well. I've got to stop. Rw9 spotted the challenge there, and he knocked it past him. What server is this on? It's on EU server. Daniel's got slightly better ping, but remember, Rw9 has a lot more experience playing on this server, so I would give Rw9 the advantage in terms of just similarity with playing with this, you know, this kind of connection. But I actually, coming into this, I don't think I said it, but I did think, and I still do think, Daniel has the edge, because the Showmatch experience is just so significant. He'll know how to adapt, he'll know how to come back in this one, even though he's down one game. I wonder, has he run into anyone in North America who plays exactly like Rw9 does? Such a solid player, such a smart player, such a difficult player to outplay, is pretty much how I would describe him. You really have to try and wear him down and be so careful with what you go for. Oh my goodness, look at the shot by Rw9. It doesn't even bounce. Perfect, once again. Daniel wants to get up close and personal, but every time he does, Rw9 just sends it long into the goal. You need to respect him, you need to respect his power shots. Daniel should have this one, and he does. Just that little bit of boost he saved up on the kickoff was enough to accelerate him into the shot. Closest was Mile, who he beat 4-3. So you think Rw9 plays like Mile? I don't think Rw9 and Mile have that many similarities. Rw9 is actually pretty unique. It's difficult to see anyone who really plays like him. Maybe Lion Blaze, but even then they do still have sufficient differences. Great boost management by Daniel. Look how much boost he had there. That's really impressive, actually, because Rw9 was not expecting him to have actually a full tank left over. He was just trying to go for the outplay again and again. Yeah, really impressive stuff by both throughout this game. Oh, that's a brilliant pre-flip challenge by Daniel, and he should have this. Oh my goodness, never mind. Rw9 again with the low boost defense, and now manages to get a huge win for himself. And look how difficult this guy is to demo, it's crazy. Daniel forced him to jump there, and Rw9 still nearly scored. He didn't want to jump exactly at that moment. Now fake wall shot, delays the hit on it, and Daniel controls it well. That's perfect execution. Early reset on the play again, but not the best contact. It got away from him, just slightly. Rw9 with the ground play, actually playing the ball across the box for the boost seal at the far side. I don't think this is going to be a problem though for Daniel. His boost management is just absolutely supreme. There, exactly. Gets him back to the ball. Daniel has run out. He's looking for an opportunity to put distance between Rw9 and the ball. It hasn't worked out. Rw9 has really done well here, but now it's Daniel's turn to save an air dribble bump. It's more of a pop-up there from Rw9, but the same idea. Both players have looked for scoring opportunities with those. Again, Rw9 thinking that it's a good way to put pressure on Daniel, and you know, fair play to him. He got both of his air dribble bumps saved, but he was still so fast in the recovery. He beat Daniel to it, and Daniel's boost was running dry with that air dribble bump defense. Another kickoff for Daniel, but this one wasn't scoreable. He didn't have enough boost saved up to really generate a run up into that one. This time he does give respect to the wall shot from Rw9. Much better positioning by Daniel. And he's almost slotted in a long shot of his own. Doesn't go for the dive in boost grab. You know, Daniel's decision making in game 2 has been significantly improved. He's backing off a lot more when Rw9 is threatening hard hits, hard power shots, long clears. And Daniel's also not getting baited into that back corner for the boost steals in the demos at all. He knows, okay, that's just not going to work against this guy. He's too quick with his positioning, and he's far too aware of these incoming attacks off the ball. Daniel still leads by 1. Not the best flick by him. That's not going to cause too many problems for Rw9. Still 67 boost saved up, but Daniel won't be too bothered. He's got the ball. Rw9 actually just comes out and says, okay, let's see what you got. I'm just going to leave my goal and put myself in the way of it. And Rw9 making life a bit difficult for Daniel. Daniel handles it without any problems. Now, will he get a reset on this? An early reset. There it is. Daniel has the pinch open and actually mind games it top corner. What a shot by Daniel. Not sure how much he planned this, because it looked like he was trying to go for a bit more of a hit on that one. I think he was trying to clip it after it bounced off the ground, but the fact that he missed it was even better, because it just got into the top corner. I don't know. If you've tried to fake that, that's incredible, because it was such a small margin for error on the fake. I would definitely be surprised. Looked like he was trying to air roll into it. Either way, it's a win-win. Air roll into it, it's a fast shot to the bottom right corner. You miss, it's a fake to the top left. So both great options. It's a nice shot by Rw9, but Daniel is equal to it. Can he get back for the second one? Almost! Daniel not far off. The very tough double save. Bit unfortunate for Daniel there. He was trying to pinch that off his own crossbar and really send it away to the halfway line, but it didn't go anywhere because the ball just kind of bounced between himself and the crossbar instead of pinching. Again, very close for Daniel, and not quite close enough. Now Rw9 has hesitated on his ground shot, didn't like the look of the full volley, didn't like the look of the half volley, so he went for neither. I would have liked to see a commitment to some shot there, not just a chip towards the goalkeeper, hoping that Daniel's going to lose control. And now Daniel giving Rw9 a taste of his own medicine. Late air dribble bump's not working for the Middle Eastern player either. Oh, what a save! Daniel trying to waste as much time as possible here. Oh my goodness, has he been too cheeky? Almost a very risky situation for Daniel at the end of the game there. Somehow, Rw9 kept the ball alive. Daniel would have been furious with himself if that ended up as a 0-second chance for Rw9 to score. Look at the defense from both players. There's so many saves on either side. I told you guys, I think that the mechanics are pretty dead even here. I really do think that the game is being decided purely based on decision making and consistency. But as we get into the later games in the series, that's where I think Daniel should have a bigger advantage than he currently does. Right now, we're absolutely dead even. Game 1, I really don't think Daniel's expecting Rw9 to be, or maybe he was expecting a real challenge here, and he just wasn't quite ready for it. Brilliant adaptation. He made the correct changes to his game. And oh my goodness, Rw9 is picking it up right where we left off. Look at the saves. Once again, he's still under a huge amount of pressure here. Daniel is trying to find a way around him. No luck, or no boost for Rw9. He still saves it. Crazy. And I think he's actually forced a shot wide there. Rw9 wasn't too far away from tripping Daniel up. Daniel can't find a way through yet. Rw9 has 23 boosts to play with now. Absolute madness from Rw9 in defense. And again, that's 4 saves already. I think I counted 5 actually. I don't think that one of them counted on the Rocket League scoreboard. They were all incredibly impressive. Look at this. From Rw9, Daniel's gone too far, all in for this one, and he's conceded inside a minute. That is one of the most impressive defensive sequences that I have ever seen. And I'm not exaggerating. I know you guys must think, okay, you say that, but how can you possibly know that? This is obvious recency bias. I'm dead serious. And he's going to continue it. That's unbelievable. Rw9 connects with the early challenge, and that's going to start frustrating Daniel. Oh, he's missed it! Rw9 with a complete open net miss. Luckily for him, he's tripped up Daniel on the recovery. Oh wow, both players going for the bump at the same time. That would have probably favored Rw9. I'm going to say actually it's kind of a 50-50. Depends which side of this field they would have spawned on. Double reset for Daniel. He's really trying to up the shot difficulty here. He knows he's got to do something. He's got to change something up, because either the shots that he's putting on net are not difficult enough for Rw9 to save, or he's being a bit too risky with his recoveries. I think Daniel's got 2 options. He can either try to really go for just a pure boost starvation style of offense and eventually shoot in an open net, or he can just go for a ridiculously mechanical move. The double reset is a good example of that. I think Rw9's own goal actually. So Rw9, he saves all of Daniel's shots, so now he's own goal. Open net miss and a pre-flip OG. Yeah, he's trying to put that in his own back corner, but he's landed on the wrong side of it. Lift, thanks for the 12-month prime. Lift sick, 84. Welcome back to the channel here. Roas is, I think, having a bit more fun with the consistent pressure on Daniel than Daniel is with the consistent pressure on Roas. Daniel, again, has immediately caved, and he's struggling. He's struggling when Roas just applies the squeeze, when he just keeps on poking Daniel. When Daniel's sitting in net, Roas is just firing a little shot at him that isn't really that scary, but the boost dwindles just slightly, and then Roas does it again and again and again, and eventually Daniel makes a mistake, whereas Roas, it doesn't seem that mistakes are ever going to happen. It's a incredible defensive stand. But Daniel does have the tools. You know, when I say he needs to... Oh my. Let me hold that thought and say I did not have director camera on there. Roas has dribbled the ball with ball cam on so that he can see where Daniel is the entire time. Wow. That is the next level. He left ball cam on there. That wasn't me using director camera. And the reason for that is because if he turned off ball camera rather, Daniel would have been in his blind spot. Daniel would have been off the screen to the right because of the way the ball was sitting on top of his car. The Roas has just got unbelievable vision. He sees every move Daniel's making, and he's up 4-1. Daniel needs to make another change here. You know, I think the adaptations he made going into game 2, not overcommitting for boost steals and demos in the back corner, not really going for any air dribble bumps at all. They were good changes to his gameplay, but now he's got to figure out, and this is what I was about to say earlier before Roas scored the crazy goal on the transition. Daniel's got to figure out a way to score more goals with a shot than Roas saves. And is it going to be a double reset? Is it going to be a single flip reset shot? Is it going to be the ceiling shots? You know, some kind of unstoppable move needs to come out for Daniel. And I'm not talking about the air dribble bump. I'm talking about some kind of late dodge into the ball. Look at Roas. He is just too good right now. Arsenal ME has no mechanic, lol. Wait, he didn't just say that right now, I'm sure. I think that you're probably referring to Arsenal's comment on first touch. But yeah, obviously 1v1 mechanics are different from 3v3, but Roas, yeah, his mechanics are absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. There's very few players who can get into a lobby with Daniel and not be at a disadvantage in terms of speed, in terms of recoveries, in terms of efficiency of movement. But Roas is absolutely one of them. He is not in trouble mechanically here. He's had a couple of inconsistent plays. He's own goal, he's missed an open net. I think he missed another open net earlier on. But when it comes to mechanics, again, just a absolutely rock solid 50-50. Sends Daniel back into his half. Roas hits the bar with a flip reset. Is he going a bit too crazy with this one, too early in the game? Because Daniel has got comeback potential. 5-2. And now we need to see solidity on the kickoffs from Roas. If Daniel can get another kickoff goal here, he is right back in this one. And that's not going to be an immediate shot from the kickoff, but it's a second best thing. It's a huge possession play for Daniel. Reset secured. Early dodge because he saw the challenge coming in. Now can he beat Roas to the punch? I think Roas has got there first. And he's still got 29 boosts to play with. Knocks it away from Daniel just briefly, but Daniel, as always, switches to the far side of the box. He needs to score here, and he hasn't scored. Roas is just hanging around in mid-air. He's landed a double save. This is one of the all-time great games when it comes to defense. This is mad. 8 saves, I think more than 8 saves actually for Roas. I don't think he even got credit on the scoreboard for all his saves here. But I struggle to think of a better defensive stand in a single game of 1v1 than what we're currently witnessing here. And Daniel has probably run out of time here. It's not just been the goalkeeping. It's not just been the shot stopping that's impressed me for Roas. Remember earlier on, ceiling challenge on a Daniel air dribble. Now, he does a fake challenge, reverses in immediately after for a real challenge when Daniel loses sight of him. He really has mixed it up very well. Roas has not just been backing off and sitting on his goal line the entire game, and it's why I hesitated to say that he's similar to Lionblaze. I think Lionblaze has got less of a defensive repertoire. He is very much a goal line defender, with fake challenges as the accompaniment. Rw9 has had absolutely everything in this game. And he has dominated Daniel. This is something I did not see coming. The visible frustration from Daniel, not the first time this game, that he's been flicking his camera around. He knows that something is up here. He knows that he needs to really step it up. And I think, genuinely, Daniel has to go for the pop-off. He's not going to score enough of his attacks with these safe options. Rw9 is just too good in defense. Daniel needs to go for the big plays. We saw it in game 1. The reset into the flick in the top corner. That kind of shot is going to, I think, go in more often than it doesn't. But can Daniel actually pull off the mechanical plays when he needs 2 games in a row? Let's find out. Baguette Burglar, thanks for the 6-month Prime, and also Scott with the 5-month Prime. And Strikers Mojo with a 13-month Tier 1. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Rw9, no reset yet on the ball. And there it is, late. Daniel has positioned beautifully. And there's no danger on the save as well. Sometimes when you're trying to go for a late save on these flip reset shots, you're running the risk of knocking the ball straight into the guy who just hit it. Because look how late Rw9 dodged into the ball. He was right next to the goal. There's a chance he might barrel on through you. But Daniel actually just played it under him. Rw9, just like at the end of the last game, has tried to spice things up a little. He's thinking, you know what? It's not just Daniel who can score these resets. I'm going to go for a few as well. But he hasn't put many of them in. In fact, I think he's been scored on every time he's tried. Recently, at least. Well, yeah, like I said earlier, I still think Daniel, at the tail end of this series, will be able to keep his level at the exact same that he's displayed in games 1, 2. Well, maybe less so 3, because he did get outplayed there. But I'm not expecting Daniel to fall off towards the end of the series here. He's been here enough times. He knows exactly how to produce the goods in those ace matches at the business end of a series. But Rw9, I don't know if he can. I think, you know, the slight inconsistencies that he's displayed, open net miss, own goal once or twice, that's something that I'd be very worried about popping up late on in the series. And now Daniel booms a flick over the top of Rw9. Rw9 won't go for the back corner boost here. Knows he can just turn and shoot this and then play for the boost steal if Daniel gets the save. Oh, what a shot by Daniel. Look at the power. Wow. Rw9 was not ready for that one. Just a real snapshot by Daniel, and perfectly placed, because if he'd gone for anything except the bottom right corner of the net, Rw9 would have easily saved it. He was just rotating back in that direction anyway. But can Daniel keep building on this lead? I think he'll go for it. Double reset. And now a late touch on the ball, but Rw9 will stop that. I like that from Daniel. I want to see as many highly mechanical plays as possible from him. I think he needs to pop off. He needs to just do to Rw9 what Rw9 just did to him. Get a dominant victory. Look at the double saves again for Rw9. Has he got the third one? He does. Daniel actually backs off from firing it straight at him. And now Rw9 faking one shot to the top left, top right goes left and misses. Shot selection was good, placement was not. And yeah, for people asking, the 9 in Arabic, well, obviously the 9 is just the Arabic representation in English, or rather, I should say, the English representation of an Arabic letter. It's like a very heavy S sound, so I just call him Rw9. I've only got one S in my vocabulary. I'll just go for that one. That's brilliant defense. Both these players have really been just unreal defending the air dribble bumps. If you think the air dribble bump is not savable, then just take a look at what these guys are doing, because they have saved the vast majority of them. In fact, have they conceded any? I'm not sure if they have. That's good placement, but Daniel's right there with it. And with 4 goals to the good already, Daniel can even just start running time off the clock. I think he's going to keep on going for big plays. Oh, actually, just scoops a wall shot right at Rw9. I'm not a fan of that one. I thought you might go for a long-range air dribble there. Rw9 dominates the 50-50. He calls Daniel's bluff on the challenge as well. You know Rw9 saw him coming here. He knew Daniel would be there, but he knew that there's a good chance Daniel will try and be cheeky on that one and run into the corner for the boost. And that's the start for Rw9. Daniel sees the approach nice and early though, and that is consistent. 5-1. Easily the best game yet for Daniel. Rw9 trying to go for the aggressive challenges late in the game here, but Daniel has his wits about him. GG's for making it to the eSport personality final. Yeah, thank you everybody who's been congratulating me on making what was it? I got nominated for eSport personality of the year. Not sure which one of you jokers did that and got me in a list of genuinely famous people, but I'll take it. I'll take it. And yeah, you feel free to vote for me. We're probably not gonna win because there's some really big esports personalities on that list, but we can try. Hey, Kid Point, thanks for the 3-month Prime, and also 33Z, thanks for the Tier 1. Jagops, thanks for the Prime as well. Much appreciated. Yeah, Daniel got a bit of a look into this series because Rw9 at the end of the last game went for a clip on him, didn't work. At the start of this game, he went for another clip on him, that also didn't work, and yeah, Daniel's been consistent. He's been very good. Just avoiding any situation where he's overextending. He's just trying to stay relevant in every single play and respect Rw9's defense to the absolute highest level that he can, because yeah, Rw9's defense is pretty legitimate. Yeah, that should be game for Daniel. He just needs to stay with the ball here. He's actually just giving it away again. You know, it's 40 seconds left, so he should be fine, but Daniel has, at the end of this game, given possession away a couple of times. That's not a good idea against someone who's going to make it very difficult to get back. What do you mean? Only against checks notes. G2's owner. Yeah, G2's owner. Big Carlos is on there. A couple of other people. Golden Boy's on there. Golden Boy's cool. Yeah, 100 Thieves owner, Nade Shot. Yep, just you know, another small personality on the come up. Shocks as well. You know, some of you might have heard of her. She's trying to make waves. Yes, definitely an honor to be on that list. Okay, I'm glad we're going to Game 5 here. This is hype. This is hype. Keys for Game 5. Rw9 needs to do what he does best, and that is just play unbelievable defense and make good decisions. And he's got to start clutching his open nets more often. He can't afford to own goal. But yeah, as for Daniel, this is where I think he has an edge. I'd say 60-40 in favor of Daniel now. This series has gone pretty much as I expected it, with both players playing incredibly well. But now we're in the territory where Daniel is far more familiar. He's going to start off with a bit of a mind game after faking a shot up high. Rw9 unlikely to pre-jump on these. He's just going to trust his reaction time. And already up by 1, Daniel challenges sideways. Gets absolutely dominated in the 50-50. Wasn't even a 50-50, he's just hit it into the sidewall. Can't recall Rw9 winning a kickoff. He's won a few kickoffs. I mean, Daniel said later in the game he's had a good switch up on the kickoff. He started to take more possessions, but early on in the series, I think Rw9 had a couple of goals and a lot of possessions. It's been pretty close from the center circle. Daniel nearly clipped him there with the demo. And again, look at this. Rw9 making it hard for him. Eventually, Daniel caught up to him. He was pretty much guaranteed to catch him there as long as he stayed on the back bumper, because as soon as Rw9 touches that curve at the back wall, he will be forced to slow down slightly. Daniel, no early reset on the play. Rw9 will see that and react accordingly. Has he made this difficult on himself? He has. But again, fakes a jump to back up Daniel and starts the counter down the middle. This is just reminiscent to OG Scrub Killers, where he's knocking the ball, spacing it so well on the counter attacks. Look at the switch of direction. Rw9 up by 2 in Game 5. And he's done this a couple times. It has consistently fooled Daniel. Fakes a shot to the top right of Daniel's goal as he's looking at it, and then comes underneath the ball, shoots left. Rw9 is a tricky one. Looking for the wave dash recovery on the kickoff. I like that from Rw9 because he's just got to try and keep the kickoffs as even as possible right now. That's so sneaky from Daniel's POV. Yeah, you really can see how difficult it is to save. On Daniel's POV, Rw9 just getting close enough to be a relevance in the play. Daniel fakes him. Huge mind game by Daniel. So Rw9 did well to still be relevant in the position here, but he expected Daniel to shoot more quickly. Daniel was just waiting patiently behind the ball. And he is going to crush a kickoff here. That's a huge win for Daniel. Oh, he's gone for a top corner chip, and that is interesting. Really expected Daniel to just go all in there because it's so difficult to break down Rw9's defense. Well, when I say all in, I thought I would see him commit for a top corner shot and then, you know, play for the boost steal after the fact. Not really just fully commit for the boost steal as the only thing he's got going for him in that attack. Rw9 running pretty low on boost, but he knows exactly where the small pads are. And look at the pre-jump. Daniel has to be so careful here not to overextend on any of these offensive plays, because Rw9 will have a little bit of boost left over every single time. At least that's what we've come to expect from him. Daniel even stealing away the small pad though, forces Rw9 to go further out in the hunt for any that's remaining. Daniel finds the top corner. Look at that little small pad boost steal by Daniel. It might not look like much, but it forced Rw9 to go further away to grab 12, and Daniel was able to capitalize. Okay, I'm loving that we've got to the point in Rocket League 1v1 now where the 12 pad boost steal is actually something to talk about. So Rw9, I don't think he would have gone all the way out there if he had that little one left over. It's a crazy save again by Rw9. Absolutely ridiculous defense. I am so impressed with the consistency that not only he's able to make saves, but also come out with an advantage. Following these saves, he's come away with possession and clangs a shot on target, and Daniel has failed to do likewise. He's definitely second best defensively today. That's ridiculous. I mean, how many times have you guys seen Daniel be outclassed defensively? Usually that is where he shines, and I mean, really, it's just across the board. Daniel is so good in defense, he's so good in offense, that he just swarms his opponent. He's got him here. Daniel equalizes again, and he catches Rw9, taking it a bit too all in offense for him. But yes, for me, it's the reads. I mean, how does Rw9 read the play with 100 ping as well as this? It's madness. Oh, but he's not read that one. Daniel just takes the early shot. Rw9 expected him to go for the side boost here. You'll notice that he's expecting the heavier commitment to the wall play, because Daniel's been going for a lot of wall plays off these kickoffs. Simey just cuts in field immediately, and he's got another one. Daniel starting to get a good stride going with the kickoffs. Rw9 just waiting patiently for now. Oh, there's the mistake! And there's not really anything you can do here. Daniel just knocks as much time off the clock as he can. Rw9 has failed yet another post pinch. We're worried that this might happen. He's had some real bean moments this series. I don't know how he's managed that one. The fact the ball hasn't gone anywhere is bizarre. It is pretty bizarre. It is unfortunate, but it was also risky to go for that in the first place. And now Daniel is in such a strong position with 2 goals to the good. Kickoffs, for the most part, going even or slightly in his favor. Rw9 will need to step outside his comfort zone. He can't just sit back, defend, and counter-attack from a 2-goal deficit. He needs to try and force something in the final minute here. And I don't know if he can, because Daniel's got a great position for himself. He's got great boost management, but he's dodged away, and that will give Rw9 a bit of space to work with. But it's another brilliant save, and the air double bumps haven't worked for either player. Daniel has denied Rw9 once again. He's just not even jumping for them, and Rw9 is just barely flying off the ground to try and clip him. Daniel's sneaking underneath every single time. Rw9 wants that quick transition down the middle. Daniel's ready for that. Knows not to go for the boost steal in the back corners here. Staying on the ball. Every second gone is a second that Rw9 desperately needs. And I think Daniel's got that one. Into the back corner it goes. He just needs to stay with the ball, and he's got this one. But Rw9 is still in an advantageous position in the long run. I don't think he's got a long run to work with though. Daniel's done it. And just like I expected, I'll be honest, he's had the consistency in Game 5 Still though, unbelievable. What a series between these two guys. Unbelievable stuff. I've never seen Daniel put on the back foot like this, so full credit to Rw9. You know, if he can iron out these small mistakes, these random own goals and open net misses, which are bizarre for such a crazy mechanical player. You wouldn't expect him to be making these mistakes. It's clearly, and it is something mental. You know, it's not like he's making mistakes with the other mechanical aspects of his game. Yeah, Rw9 is insane. The play style to beat Rw9 is something that Daniel, I don't think he's even figured it out yet. I don't think he's got the play style downloaded, even after winning against him in 5 here. He did rely on some poor decision making from Rw9 and some kickoff pressure going in his way, and yeah, some mistakes as well. But yeah, overall Daniel's definitely got he's got that winning mentality. He knows how to show up and put his best performance on in a game 5, in a game 4, the late end of a series. Even if he's under pressure, he's still able to produce the goods, which is an incredibly important thing. Very difficult to learn that. So I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm not trying to take anything away from him when I bring up the fact that I don't think he's got Rw9 figured out yet. I just think Rw9 is so hard to figure out. You can't really do it in 5 games.